CEO of Group 5. Now, South Africa will be hosting the Jobs Summit on the 4th and 5th of October this year. That's this week, in fact. And the goal is to fight the country's high levels of unemployment. Joining us with more on what to expect is Bernstein, who is the Executive Director for the Center for Development and Enterprise. And a lot of people are not really excited that this Jobs Summit will move the needle by way of paving a way to solve the crisis in unemployment that we experience here in South Africa. Do you share the same view?
Well, I don't know what's going to happen at the Jobs Summit. I'm not all that optimistic. I'm not sure this is the right way to go about this. The President has said that he wants extraordinary measures to come out of the Jobs Summit. We need to see what does in fact come out. But the big issue is the scale of South Africa's unemployment, especially our youth unemployment. And we need to think about that when the outcomes of the Jobs Summit are announced.
But then you say you're not too sure that a summit is the way to go. How do we go about fixing the very big issue of youth unemployment in South Africa?
Look, I think the issues are clear. We need leadership. We need a bold reform agenda from the President and the ruling party, and we then need to get to work. We need to change the way in which our economy has been driven and structured for the last 20 years, which essentially is we're going to have a high-wage, high-skill strategy for growth. The problem with that is we don't have a high-skill workforce. I wish we did. And we need to have an economy that is creating jobs for the workforce we actually have, not the one we wish we had. Through no fault of their own, very many, millions and millions of South Africans come out of a very bad education system. And they often live in houses where nobody works or communities where very few people work. And so they're completely stranded. They can't get into the job market. And our economy, even when it grows, we do create jobs, but we create disproportionate numbers of high-skilled or semi-skilled jobs when our population, our workforce, is not that. So that's the big issue. And until South Africa changes that, we're going to keep growing unemployment, which is devastating. So we have to look at how we make it easier for employers to hire people, especially young people. You have to take a risk on them. So what do? You need to know you can get rid of them if they don't work out. Make that easier. You can pay them less if they don't work out. So you've got to look at what would incentivize an employer to hire more people. At the bottom line, South Africa has to grow much faster. So the Jobs Summit is hard to separate from our need for growth. And so we have to stop doing what we've been doing. We have to say, how does South Africa become a much more competitive place in which to do business that will encourage people to invest more, to expand the firms we have, to start new businesses, for which we need lots of immigrants who will help start those new businesses? And then how do we make sure they don't buy machines, but they rather hire people? And that means we've got to change the laws. So fewer projects and initiatives, and South Africa has to get down to the hard business of changing the way we have set up our rules and regulations which stifle business and growth in this country.
I agree completely. Well, and we will have to leave it there for now. Hopefully we can catch up for a post-Jobs Summit analysis and to see if some of the things that you were saying were addressed. Many thanks to Bernstein, who is the Executive Director for the Center for Development and Enterprise.